This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.
NFL insider for Pro Football Network. Follow him on Twitter at Aaron_Wilson_NFL. Aaron, how you doing, my friend?
Doing great, buddy. How are you?
Can't complain, man. All right, so talk to me. Who's impressed you most so far in this draft?
You know, I've liked the New York Jets, what they've done, and the Baltimore Ravens, also the New York Giants. And I think I'm actually talking to you from NRG Stadium, Houston, Texas. I think Nick Caserio's had a good draft, too, with Derek Stingley, Kenyon Green. I like Damian Pierce, the running back he got today. I thought Jalen Petre is a real tone setter, the safety out of Baylor, and then got a fast linebacker from Alabama. Can't really go wrong drafting the Southeastern Conference, as you know, being in the South. And I think that you saw sort of a strategy there where he was trying to get fast guys and guys from big colleges, guys with proven production and good testers, high character, no guys with any dings, red flags. So, yeah, I think Nick Caserio did well. Now that he had some draft capital, unlike last year when he didn't draft until the third round. So, yeah, so far, I mean, it's obviously we'll know in a few years if any of these players are good. But, yeah, I think he did well.
Yeah, and Miami was in that position. They didn't draft till the third round, and they got themselves a linebacker out of the SEC and out of Georgia, Channing Tindall. What did you think of that pick?
I thought that was good. You know, when you look at the Georgia defense, he was a big part of that. He was someone that was really integral to the success they were having, and it was like a competition. Who's going to make the play? Because there were so many playmakers, and he was one of them. I thought where they picked him, good value.
Yeah, do you know anything about the Texas Tech? Since you are in Texas, so talk to me about Eric. Do you know anything about Eazy-E from Texas Tech?
No real inside information. You know, I'm aware of him. I've seen him play. I've seen some of the highlights, and yeah, he looks like a good football player. We'll say this about Texas Tech guys: they're usually very well prepared and hardworking, tough guys. It's a kind of, I don't know if you've ever been to Lubbock, Texas, but it's not the biggest place in the world. There's not a lot to do there except, lift weights and study and practice football. Yeah, I think the Dolphins will be happy with his approach to the game.
Yeah, I think Wes Welker must have had some kind of influence there because he obviously played at Texas Tech, and then he's been with McDaniel at San Francisco, so
Right.
they came over. So I'm wondering if Wes had any influence whatsoever on that pick.
Just a little bit.
Yeah. All right. So Aaron Wilson, by the way, joining us, and make sure you can follow him on Twitter at @AaronWilson_NFL. Aaron, what do you think happens with Deebo Samuel? Because I've been trying to walk the crazy ass Dolphin fan off the ledge. I think there's no shot he comes to Miami, and I'll explain later on why. But you tell me, what do you hear about Deebo Samuel and where he could end up?
I think it's pretty dead right now. When you think about opportunities for him, it costs so much, and that's one of the reasons why it's so tough to move him. And that's why I feel like, Big O, that it's just going to be hard for anybody to trade for him. And you saw probably the comments from Kyle Shanahan. He's not really inclined to do anything with this guy. He's just going to try to repair the relationship. And I think that's where it's at right now, is them trying to work things out with him. Maybe they can reach a financial compromise. Maybe they can promise not to franchise tag him when he's out there and available for that. I think it's a difficult situation.
Let me walk you through why I think there's a Dr. Frankenstein situation going on with the Miami Dolphins. Mike McDaniel obviously was the guy that helped create Deebo Samuel. Well, he goes and gets Chase. He goes and gets Raheem Mostert. He adds Alex Ingold at fullback. Then he's got Tyreek that he signs. He's already got Waddle. He then gets Cedric from the Dallas Cowboys, who's a long, lanky, slot guy. And now you draft this big wide receiver that averaged 13 yards a carry, and he's also a runner too, and he has some Deebo qualities. What I'm trying to explain to people is, I think Mike McDaniel said, yeah, it's kind of dangerous to have one guy playing that position. I'm going to attack defenses with Deebo Samuel piecemeal. It'll be One guy playing his role in this town, another guy playing this role in his town, another guy, and we're going to keep the defense second guessing on who's going to end up doing it because several guys can do the run plays, several guys can do the pass plays that Deebo does. I believe that's how he has constructed Deebo Samuel's liking on this team, the way he constructed it. Do you agree or disagree?
No, I think you make a great point. The only thing is, it's just the cost of doing business and the 49ers' willingness, and that's the only issue I would take with that. But I think your points are rock solid.
Yeah, and I don't think Miami, after acquiring Tyreek, you're going to have to pay Waddle in 2 years. You're no way you sign Deebo too on top of all. That's a lot of money to be tied down to the wide receiver spot. Plus, I don't think you want to trade away that beautiful capital that you have next year in the draft with 2 firsts, a second, and 2 thirds.
Also, why create a financial problem when one doesn't exist?
Amen to that.
Cross them off the list, I would say.
All right. So, what's been the biggest surprise to you in the draft so far?
The quarterbacks, bless you, the quarterback slide. We thought Malik Willis would go higher, and one thing that was mentioned to me after the slide was, and it actually, I should say, some people a bit secondhand, a little removed from it, but even were hinting at it prior to it, is the offense that he ran at Liberty and his lack of height, and that those things turned off teams a bit. So, they felt the way they felt, and we'll see who's right. Is he going to become a star quarterback with the Titans, or is it going to be a situation where, the NFL and the people that grade the players, if they're right? So, check back in a few years.
Yeah, and here's the most amazing thing about this draft. Aaron, the NFL has never been disciplined. They always reach for quarterbacks. They've done this since the beginning of time. And they actually were disciplined this year. They stayed away from the quarterbacks. That to me was actually really, really impressive because even Howell dropped farther than what I thought he would drop. And some of these guys I actually like. I like the Howell kid as a project, actually. You know what I mean? I'm a Pickett guy. I do like Pickett, actually. I love his moxie and the way he plays. But I really expected teams to still reach because they always reach for that desperate position.
Absolutely. When you think about how things go down and the league, I think this was a case of people just being logical and smart. And also next year, if you're in the quarterback market, looking at Bryce Young, looking at Stroud, might be a better time to do that.
What'd you think of the Patriots' first round selection?
When you think about New England, obviously people were making lots of jokes calling it a strange pick. But if you like him, what does it matter? Shouldn't matter whether he's rated a certain position, in terms of drafting boards by other teams. If that's just what he wants, and he feels like Bill Belichick has that kind of job security, he can do that. I don't have a big problem with it. I don't know about why people get so upset. If that's what he wants to do, and obviously he drafts a different kind of way than other people, he's got the Super Bowl rings. I wouldn't doubt him.
All right. Oh, one more thing before I let you go.
Yeah,
NFL Insider. Yeah, I know you got to go. Aaron Wilson. Follow him on Twitter at @AaronWilson_NFL. JC Tretter. What is happening? Miami did not go for a center. Michael Dieter. I haven't given up on the kid, but I can see them bringing in another veteran center. And I almost feel like they're trying to bring him in, but they're trying to drive that price down a little bit because of the injury history. What do you hear about J.C. Tretter? What's going on? Because he's a pretty good player and he hasn't signed with anybody.
Pretty good player. It's been very quiet for him. And, yeah, I just think with everything that's gone on, I don't think it's because he's president of the union. I think it's just a matter of finding a spot and him not wanting to play for the minimum. He's going to want a real contract, and that's probably more problematic for teams than anything with the union, because there's no dispute with the union right now. It's not like they're in a beef.
Oh, I'm with you there. All right, follow him on Twitter at @AaronWilson_NFL and catch his work there at the Pro Football Network. Aaron, as always, my brother, thank you for taking some time. I appreciate you. Catch up down the line.
Me. Talk to you soon.
Got it, baby. Be good. There you go. Aaron Wilson, man. Good stuff there.
This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.